So we will start. उसी पोजीशन से शुरू करते हैं. This was the position. अब इसका लॉजिक क्या था, शुरू करते हैं. Why did I frame this, और क्यों, क्या, जो भी. Starting from the chat where I sent this. I told to mark out stages of MM exam around here. Okay, stages of MM exam. If you can't see, let me mark it out for you. SMR, I expect everybody should be able to mark this at least. Then why don't we full screen it? And now better. Yes, a relevant objective. We'll talk about that later. If you can see a simple, just framing it on M1, not even going higher. Expansion into an objective. Expansion to which phase? Consolidation, right? So consolidation to direct expansion, justified. Now consolidation to expansion, expansion into an objective, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So this would be criteria of what? AMD reversal, right? Expansion into an objective met with expansion to the opposing side with much of a displacement. Clearly coming back inside the range aggressively, not lacking, not showing lack of willingness, but instead coming back with displacement, right? So this would be AMD, AMD reversal of this move. So if AMD reversal, two things are clear to me. AMD reversal, I want to see if price forms manipulation over the relevant opposing swing or true breakout. And if true breakout, I will target what? The next opposing relevant swing. Make sense? Okay, nice. So then framing it like this, I don't consider this as protected. That you would study in the upcoming lessons. Even though this looks good into a POI opposing candle close above, but I don't trust this. UDBuy knows a bit about that, maybe. UDBuy, if you can see. Okay, I won't talk about that now. So when we know bullish order flow or bearish order flow, price hitting relevant POI, use this or use this, and shifting order flow, first time rejecting low and displacing through highs. So if bullish order flow, lows will be rejecting a low for another time, right? So makes sense for my first entry. But if you people would be confused a bit, why didn't I take it after that opposing candles close? I was having a bit of more, very much conviction with this structure, liked it too much, and I switched 2 minutes and 3 minutes as well. This candle has closed very much good around here, or 3 minutes, I guess. You use any, this candle sweep opposing swing, immediately comes back inside, vice versa on the 2 minute, swept opposing swing, immediately moves away. So this was kind of an entry, anticipation entry, you can say, anticipating a swing forming here. Okay, coming back to it. Now forming order block, closing of these opposing candles. These opposing candles hit a relevant POI opposing swing. So EQ of these should be protected. Price comes back. EQ moves away from that. Then I trailed here. Here, right? Stop was my here, initial stop, trailed here. Now framing it as what? SMR. And how did I tell you guys to do it? SMR 0 1 2 like that. Okay, 0 1 is LRB, but more than an LRB, it is an intermediate term low. One of my best ways to enter intermediate term low is a low which sweeps out a low, previous low. Okay, because it tells you if it is a bullish or bearish order flow, rejecting lows or rejecting highs, right? Now, then intermediate term low, zero its leg, so LRB 0 1, this would be first stage, right? Then forms opposing candle, closes above them, so EQ of these candles should be respected as well. It was being respected, price closing over here, so you can frame this as second stage, right? If we replay it, you can frame this as second stage, this one makes sense. SMR, low risk by intermediate term low, first stage, second stage. Totally valid. And therefore, me trailing stop till there then makes sense. Nice. Then. Now, sweeping of this low would make much more sense in like few weeks when I tell you people about EQ logic and high time frame, aligning that with high time frame OLHC. So just go with it for the moment that it got swept, but even if we see this as protected till an objective, see this that way. Now putting up the high time frame candles, price, new candle opening. Now if it wanted to make this low hold, price would have needed to respect the EQ of this previous candle, which was resting just around that EQ of this opposing candle. So trailing stop there at this low being justified. Now price comes and respects the EQ of this candle and moves away. So trailing it here was also a kind of anticipating a low to be formed here, because I would preferably want a low of this candle to be formed here. I don't want it to go much lower. If it goes much lower, then I don't expect this low as well to hold, right? That's why I trailed it here. I don't know if I sent it or not. Yes, trailed it here. Open low, too big of a wick, but makes sense. 11:45 retracement, so 12 p.m. continuation. Then it comes sweeps, that is totally valid as well. Lows will reject, so for rejecting it would need to sweep a low at least, and if you see, only once a low was swept in this whole leg, so makes sense for another one to be swept, and that's the best scenario. Every PD array formed after sweeping a low would work even better. Now sweeping of this low, price immediately coming back inside, so price, this low is rejecting price high, so then this had SMT. So now you can frame this as second stage, this still respecting the 1130s low, which is this, rejecting this low and issue होगा forming opposing candles after hitting a relevant POI, which is the best POI to me. Opposing swing low. So this should stay protected now. To be sure, take it. Now then I told you what did I told? Now 12 p.m. goes higher because if 12 p.m. comes back till here, I don't see this as bullish anymore because this low should be protected. If you remember protected swings, right? If you remember the protected swings section, the protected swings lecture, this should stay protected, this should stay protected, right? Swept out a low and using the SMT as a confluence there, aligning with your bias, aligning with the right side of the curve, right? So this should stay protected. The protected swings section teaches you about that. Dun, 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 dun. Now when new candle opens around here, now around this opening, two key levels which I can work from, this and the EQ of these opposing candles. So this could have been valid, but as I wasn't looking at charts that time, but this looked valid. Price opening here, yes, opening here, sweeping out a relevant low, immediately closing over these candles. So yeah, if you were in a position trailing your stop to here or taking this entry seems valid. Why? Previous candle being retracement candle, retracement objective being opposing swing being met, price moving away from that. So price should respect the EQ of this retracement candle. Then if it wants to go higher off of this EQ rests even below this EQ of opposing candle. So this would be an invalidation level if price wants to go higher. Then EQ of this opposing candle should stay respected, swept out a relevant low. But the moment this gets disrespected, you are boom boom. If I were entering here, I would have surely trailed it here, but this also got violated. I am okay, I wasn't in a position that time. ब्यूटी भाई ये आपको इक्यू लॉजिक से कितना वैलिड लग रहा है? बस बहुत ज्यादा मस्त वैलिड नहीं ये वाला लो, क्योंकि लो यहाँ है करंट कैंडल का और ये लो बिल्कुल इधर है. But anyhow, it came. When it comes that much back, I don't expect this low to hold, and when I don't expect this low to hold, I am thinking this low could get swept as well. It could stay protected, it could get swept. Both things being totally valid. But the candle is still printing and the invalidation level is still being respected. So you could still frame it higher. Low rejecting price. A low rejecting price with SMT. Draw being still open. And if it goes displaces away from this would be a protected swing for you. Open low, high resistance below current low of the candle, established low, moves away. Nice signature. And it goes for the objective. So if you were to trail it here, that was a valid loss, I will say, or valid trail out. If you were in a position, this looked valid as well, but the invalidation level of current candle's continuation was this, which stayed respected. And if 12 p.m. wanted to go higher, I wanted it to immediately go higher. What do I mean by that? That 12 p.m. should be an expansion candle. Was 12 p.m. an expansion candle? Yes, to me, yes. Small opposing run, immediately going higher. Because if it wanted to go lower, it could have immediately went lower. If I show you the M15 structure. Not able to show it here. Off of this level, or you can say this opposing swing, this 12 p.m. dropping lower could have made sense. पीछे हो जा. 12 p.m. open, high, low, close would have made total sense off of this low. But as this relevant opposing swing wasn't offering a move lower, so this wasn't the objective. This could have been the objective current high of the H4 candle. This is me showing it in ES. We can see this on NQ. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there is no swing, so I was just framing it off of ES. But this opposing swing can make it go lower. Price rejecting this low after hitting an objective, immediately come back inside. So this move higher could be retracement, could be reversal. So this could have been used as retracement objective as price was still not displacing through it, right? So totally valid even if price went lower immediately on or around 12 p.m. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, NQ was the weaker asset. So this 12 p.m. low held, this trailing 12.4 low held as well. So NQ was the weaker asset here. Nice. This low was held on ES as well as this low. Dun, 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 dun. This low was held too. So I picked the wrong asset. I don't know when I will get over that. I am used to picking the wrong assets. I need to work on that. I always accidentally pick the wrong asset, not intentionally. I know which is the correct asset, but I just didn't look at ES lower time frame structure. I just saw this on NQ and boom, enter. Didn't even watch ES lower time frame structure. I watched this SMT after I realized this was an SMT. Didn't specifically went to look for an SMT. Just went on to ES randomly. 12:30. So yes, if you would have been framing it on the stronger asset, this low would have stayed protected as well this low, as well this low. So no problem. Still the draw opposing swing, relevant opposing swing, you people would have been a bit okay with spotting relevant opposing swing, I guess so. But still, even if you were to frame the weaker asset, 4.5 hours and more than enough opportunities. First here, second here, third here, fourth here, fifth here on ES, sixth here on ES. Just one draw. If you have any doubts, we can go over that, or we will continue with the recap over weekly recap I am talking about. नहीं, वीकली रिकैप बाद में, पहले हमने कुछ करना था यूडी भाई, आपकी किसी एंट्री या किसी और की किसी की एंट्री पे कुछ जाना था. वीकली रिकैप तो लाइव स्टेज में करना था, है ना. मैंने बोला था मैं वीसी में समझाऊंगा, कुछ तो बोला था मैंने. आपकी एंट्रीज हाँ, बट वो नहीं था. मैंने कुछ तो बोला था मैं वीसी में समझाऊंगा. जेलस याद है क्या बोला था?
गोल्ड में रेलेवेंट स्विंग,
गोल्ड में रेलेवेंट स्विंग
मुझे बोला था
वो कर लेते हैं. तो ये वाला समझ आ गया, एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टूड दैट दिस. बम 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 बम. moment. This is making me think higher again. Lows rejecting price higher. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, too much of a positions on a day after a large range day on a day before NFP, which is considered as the lowest probable day of the month. Nice. Anyway, too nice. Just gotta have the right skill. अब इसको ठीक कैसे करूं? मैंने तो आप लोगों को मैंने तो आप लोगों को हाँ 2 मिनट दिखाने के चक्कर में ये इधर कर दिया था। मेरे को डिफरेंस नहीं ना पता कितना था। मेरे लैपटॉप के इस लाइन के इधर ठीक है। HP रेटिंग मैन्युअली करूँगा खराब हो जाएगा यार। ठीक है, आई थिंक कि यही टैब मेरा सब कुछ करवाता है भाई। तो मैं देखूंगा ESB इधर ही है। तू तो हट यार, सेम जगह पे है ना? हाँ बस ठीक है। डन 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 ओके, current high of the candle पे SMT, so SMT, so shorts NQ longs ES, but देखने क्यों है? बहुत ज़्यादा ही पोजीशन फ्रेम कर लिया मैंने आज। ठीक है, we will go over some doubt. Yes, ICT says so, but I don't listen to ICT. I'm a bad student. And people recommend to avoid after a large range day as well, when there is Trump's news. फिर भाई हमने बिना मजाक के बहुत पोजीशन फ्रेम करी है, इतनी हमें नहीं करनी चाहिए, हम बदतमीज हो रहे हैं। है ना? अच्छा मेरे को बताओ हमने डाउट। स्विंग पॉइंट का मतलब बोल रहा है वो, स्विंग पॉइंट मेरे हिसाब से ये वाला स्विंग, पता है कौन सा स्विंग? हाँ वही स्विंग। आपने स्विंग वो सोचा हाई टाइम फ्रेम वाला जो नहीं होता, स्विंग ट्रेड्स, है ना? पता होता है मेरे को सब भाई। मैं भी सिंगल ही करता हूँ, ये कभी कभी मेरे में कुछ आ जाता है, मैं पागल हो जाता हूँ, नहीं करने चाहिए इतना, ये कभी कभी तक ही लिमिटेड रहना चाहिए। ओ यार, साथ में सिचुएशनल है कि जब मैं बहुत ज्यादा कन्विक्शन है ना मेरे को किसी पे, मैं दिन में ले लूंगा 2-3, एक ही एसेट पे एक ही ड्रॉ तक 2-3-4 भी ले लूंगा। जब मैं थका होता हूँ मेंटली, मेरे को जल्दी से जल्दी खत्म करना होता है, तो मैं बाय बाय कर देता हूँ। जब मेरे को ऐसे मजा आ रहा होता है, मैं भाई देखो ड्रॉ पड़ी है, ये देखो एक और एंट्री, चलो लेते हैं, एक और एंट्री लेते हैं। और मेरे को मजा आता है बेसिकली अपना प्रोसेस फॉलो करने में बार बार। SLTP इतना नहीं, बस हाँ कर रहा हूँ फॉलो अपना प्रोसेस। और चाहे मैं एग्जीक्यूट करूँ भी ना, तब भी मैं फ्रेम करने के लिए कि मेरे को 4 मिलेंगे, 4 की 4 माइंड में फ्रेम करूंगा मैं एटलीस्ट, कि अपनी प्रैक्टिस ही सेंस में लगा लो कि अपने सिस्टम को रिपीट repeatedly execute type scene, practice type scene. कि चाहे मैं अपना अकाउंट लॉग आउट कर चुका हूँ, तब भी मैं, अगर मेरे पास टाइम है, अगर मेरे में मेंटल कैपेसिटी है, अभी तो बीमार हूँ तो मेंटल कैपेसिटी इसलिए वर्ड यूज कर रहा हूँ, नहीं तो ये मेरी माइंड में आता ही नहीं है, कैपेसिटी हो नहीं हो मैं करता हूँ काम। अभी तो बहुत बीमार हूँ, साथ में खा भी बहुत कम रहा हूँ, तो इसलिए मेंटल कैपेसिटी वाली चीज बोल रहा हूँ। तो मैं सोचता हूँ टाइम है, ये है, तो मैं एटलीस्ट माइंड में ही फ्रेम करता हूँ, यहाँ से यहाँ तो लॉजिकली ये होना चाहिए, क्यों होना चाहिए। कि जैसे ES पे कर रहा था मैं, आज YM पे कर रहा था, जो कि YM पे करते करते मेरा पता नहीं क्या मन करा, ये वाली एंट्री मैंने लगा दी लिमिट, मैंने कहा नहीं मैं इधर नहीं लूंगा, पता नहीं क्या मन करा मेरा। और उसका मैंने बाद में फिर गो थ्रू भी करा अपने माइंड से कि क्यों, क्या, अगली बार से क्या कैसे देख सकता हूँ, वो भी बता दूंगा आप लोगों को चाहिए तो। कि हाँ मेरे को था ये एंट्री जा रही है, बट मेरे को इधर एंट्री नहीं लेनी, इधर लूंगा, पता नहीं हो जाता है, चलो। और मिस करने से थोड़ा ये हुआ, एक चीज जो मेरे को खुद की नहीं पता थी वो पता चल गई, और अगली बार से ऐसी जो 10 बारी मिस होनी होंगी वो नहीं होंगी। तो इस एक का मिस होना मेरे लिए अच्छा था, क्योंकि अगली बार सेम ऐसे प्रोजेक्शन में ऐसी 10 पोजीशन जो मिस होनी थी वो नहीं होंगी। मतलब समझ नहीं आया।
अरे आपने कहा कि ये ट्रेड आपने क्यों नहीं लिया, ये आप समझा देंगे अगर
हम्म,
चाहिए तो। मैं कह रहा हूँ कि तो
अच्छा
क्यों चाहिए।
पर मेरे को एक चीज बताओ, ये तो मेरे को मेरी याद है, पर वो नहीं याद मैंने क्या बोला था, आज VC में करूंगा कुछ ऐसे ही बोला तो था किसी को यार। और ये हितेश भाई, मैंने तो भाई नाम नहीं लिया था कौन सा यूज कर रहा हूँ, क्या पता नंबर देख के यूज कर लिया, पर एटलीस्ट फ्रेम तो कर पाया भाई, है ना। क्यों, कहाँ से, यहाँ पे लग रहा है ये रेलेवेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि इसमें डिफरेंस है। प्रोजेक्ट आउट करके इसको आगे देखो तब पता चलेगा ये रेलेवेंट है कि नहीं। और मेरी पूरी अप्रोच ही आपको आधी से ज्यादा 90% पता चल गई होगी सबको, बिना समझाए हुए अभी, है ना। आपको सिर्फ क्या क्या यूज करता हूँ वही समझाया है, कैसे करता हूँ वो इतना नहीं समझाया। यार कहीं तो मैंने अपना नाम नहीं क्या सर्च मार सकता। शाबाश, मेरा नाम ही नहीं है डिस्कॉर्ड में।
स्ट्रीमर मोड ऑन है ना, इसीलिए।
वाकई यार, मैं सोच रहा हूँ जो मैसेज सोच रहा हूँ वो नहीं आना चाहिए। आपको पता चला क्या बोला मैंने वीडियो में अभी?
यस 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 यस।
क्या करूँ, कहीं तो लिखा था भाई, यार तुम लोगों
एक
को खुद ही
सेकंड
भूल
स्ट्रीम
जाते
ऑफ
हैं।
ऑफ करो, फिर देख लेना बस।
हाँ, अच्छा मैं रिकॉर्डिंग तो ऑफ कर सकता
हाँ
हूँ।
रिकॉर्डिंग, हाँ हाँ यस।